Hello all, this is Ankita and today we are going to learn about the stream of consciousness. The term stream of consciousness refers to a narrative technique that attempts to represent the continuous flow of a character's thoughts, feelings, memories and sensory impressions as they occur in human mind. तो स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस बेसिकली एक राइटिंग टेक्निक है जिसमें जो हमारा राइटर होता है वो इमोशंस को रिप्रेजेंट करता है उसी तरीके से जैसे एक ह्यूमन बीइंग में वो अकर करते हैं एज कॉन्टिन्यूस फ्लो ऑफ थॉट्स, फीलिंग्स, मेमोरीज, सेंसरी इंप्रेशंस इन द सेम वे एज दे अकर इन अ ह्यूमन माइंड, उसी तरीके से वो पेपर पे उतारे जाते हैं. जब ये टेक्निक का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है दैट्स कॉल्ड द स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस. द टर्म वॉज फर्स्ट यूज्ड बाय विलियम जेम्स इन हिज बुक द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ साइकोलॉजी 1890s. तो पहली बार जो ये टर्म स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस है ये 1890s में विलियम जेम्स ने अपनी किताब द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ साइकोलॉजी में इस्तेमाल किया था. ही डिस्क्राइब्ड कॉन्शियसनेस एज अ स्ट्रीम, कॉन्टिन्यूस, फ्लोइंग एंड अनब्रोकन. उन्होंने कहा कि जो हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस है वो एक स्ट्रीम की तरह है, वो एक पानी के बहाव की तरह है जो कॉन्टिन्यूसली फ्लो करती है. वो हेवाई जा सकती है, वो डिफरेंट मिसमैच्ड थॉट्स हो सकते हैं, पर वो एक फ्लोइंग प्रोसेस है, वो एक अनब्रोकन प्रोसेस है. इन दिस मूवमेंट द कॉन्शियसनेस इज नॉट लीनियर. It is not like you're thinking about a single thing and you continue to think about that. This is not what consciousness is. Whenever a human being thinks, or even if you think, at one point of time you're thinking about your exams. Maybe at another point of time you're thinking about running. Maybe at third point of time you remember a job which was left incomplete and now you need to complete it. So the thought process is never a linear process. It is non-linear in nature. That's what it is trying to say. In this movement, the consciousness is not linear. The thoughts are associative and the memory interrupts present reality. The mind jumps between past and present. तो स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में बेसिकली जैसे माइंड एक ह्यूमन बॉडी में वर्क करता है वैसे ही वो पेपर पे उतारा जाता है. जैसे एक ह्यूमन बॉडी में माइंड पास्ट और प्रेजेंट के बीच में दौड़ता है, इस फॉर्म ऑफ नैरेटिव टेक्निक में भी वो इसी तरीके से काम करता है. Stream of consciousness becomes central in the modernist movement. So this is one of a very important techniques that was used for writing in modernist literature or in modernist movement in the early 20th century. After World War I, faith in rationality collapsed. The writers turned inward and the reality was seen as subjective. तो World War I के बाद क्या हुआ कि जो चीज़ों में बिलीव किया जाता था, जैसे एक्सटर्नल रियलिटी, जैसे द आइडिया ऑफ पेट्रियोटिज्म और भी बहुत सारे नोशंस जिनमें बिलीव किया जाता वो कोलैप्स हो गए. तो नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ लुकिंग एट थिंग्स फ्रॉम अ आउटवर्ड पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, फ्रॉम अ सोसाइटल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, द राइटर्स वर नाउ लुकिंग इनवर्ड. दे वर ट्राइंग टू नो देमसेल्फ and hence now the reality was no longer a objective thing. It was subjective and it differed from individual to individual. Major practitioners of this were James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, Dorothy Richardson, and William Faulkner. Now let's talk about the key characteristics of this age. The first one is interior monologue. Now what is interior monologue? It is direct presentation of a character's thoughts. For example, in Ulysses by James Joyce, especially Molly Bloom's monologue. जब एक कैरेक्टर के थॉट्स स्टार्कली पेपर पे प्रेजेंट किए जाते हैं एज इफ द कैरेक्टर हिमसेल्फ और हरसेल्फ इज स्पीकिंग और थिंकिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग. Okay? Moving forward, second one is lack of logical structure. Because a human mind does not work in a logical structure, hence this system lacks the logical structure. Okay? So the sentences in this form of writing may be fragmented, grammar may be broken, एंड देयर इज नो क्लियर सीक्वेंस. तो यहाँ पे सेंटेंसेस जो होते हैं वो फ्रैगमेंटेड हो सकते हैं, ग्रामर ब्रोकन हो सकती है, और सीक्वेंस देयर इज नो क्लियर सीक्वेंस. सो वी डू नॉट फॉलो अ लॉजिकल स्ट्रक्चर इन स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस. द थर्ड important idea which we propagate in the stream of consciousness is free. Third important idea that we propagate is free association. What is free association? One thought leads to another randomly without any logical or grammatical order, just as they occur in human mind. So thoughts are presented on the paper without any logical structure or without following any grammatical order, just like as they occur in a human mind. ह्यूमन माइंड में कोई भी थॉट होती है वो ऐसे ही नहीं होती, वो इलॉजिकली फॉलो इन करती है, उसका कोई एक लॉजिकल स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता. कभी एक थॉट आती है, फिर दूसरी, फिर तीसरी, फिर चौथी. एग्जैक्टली उसी तरीके से हमारी स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में भी थॉट्स को प्रेजेंट किया जाता है. Just as they occur in human mind, it is based on the idea that the mind does not think in a straight line. It moves through association. This idea was propagated by Sigmund Freud. Now the fourth one is the subjective time. When we talk about the subjective time, we talk about the clock time versus the psychological time. Now what is the clock time? Clock time is the objective time. It is something that is measurable, which is linear. It moves forward in a fixed sequence. वो forward move करता है एक fixed sequence में. Whereas when we talk about the psychological time, it is inner, experienced and elastic time. It depends on perception, memory and emotions. जो psychological time होता है वो perception पे, वो memory पे और emotions पे depend करता है. It is internal, पर्सनल, इलास्टिक एंड नॉन लीनियर. वो नॉन लीनियर होता है. ये एक सब्जेक्टिव, जो हमारा साइकोलॉजिकल टाइम है वो एक सब्जेक्टिव आइडिया है, वो परसेप्शन और मेमोरी पे डिपेंड करता है और वो पर्सनल होता है और वो नॉन लीनियर होता है नेचर में. The fifth idea that we propagate while we are dealing with the stream of consciousness is the focus on inner reality. External events are secondary. Mind becomes the real stage. The major writers who were dealing with the stream of consciousness were James Joyce, and he was radically experimenting with the idea. Language became fluid like thoughts. Second is Virginia Woolf. Again, fluid consciousness and psychological depth. Then is William Faulkner, multiple narrators and fragmented consciousness. These are the basic themes on which these writers were writing. Now let's differentiate between what is stream of consciousness and what is interior monologue. We should know the major difference between the two, the stream of consciousness and interior monologue. So dealing with the two, stream of consciousness and interior monologue. Stream of consciousness is a broader technique, whereas interior monologue is a specific device. When we talk about stream of consciousness, it includes memories, sensations, and impressions. Whereas when we talk about interior monologue, it is a direct representation of thoughts. Talking about stream of consciousness, it may include narrator mediation, whereas interior monologue is direct in nature. It is often chaotic. Why? Because it is not linear in nature. It can be a mix of past and present. Whereas when we talk about interior monologue, it is slightly more structured as compared to stream of consciousness. Every interior monologue is stream of consciousness, but not vice versa. हर इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग एक फॉर्म ऑफ स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस होता है, बट स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस जो एक वाइडर टर्म है वो इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग हो ये जरूरी नहीं है. टेक्निक्स दैट आर यूज्ड इन स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस आर free indirect discourse. Narrator may merge with character's mind. So first one is free indirect discourse, जहाँ पे narrator जो है वो character के mind के साथ merge कर जाए. Second क्या है? Flashbacks. Flashback means memory interrupts present. Third is symbolism. Object triggers memory. You see something and you remember something. That's symbolism. And a non-linear plot. For example, let's take a very easy example to help you understand the stream of consciousness. Imagine a student entering an examination hall. She enters the hall and sits down. Now, if you describe it in journal words, it will be like she enters the hall and she sits down. Whereas if somebody is using stream of consciousness, that will be described as she enters the room, the hall smells like chalk, pen. Did I bring admit card? Then again a shift of thought. Why Is she staring? Last time I forgot 3 questions. Mother said stay calm. Ticking clock. That's the mind actual movement. It is never linear in nature. It is moving to and fro. There is often a shift of thoughts. There is often a shift of ideas. There is often a movement between past and present. Different things can interrupt your present process of thinking. That is what is stream of consciousness. Now, let's differentiate between realism and stream of consciousness. When we talk about realism, it talks about external reality. Whereas when we talk about stream of consciousness, it is internal reality. Realism talks about linear time, whereas stream of consciousness talk about psychological time. Realism talks about objective narrative, whereas stream of consciousness talks about subjective narrative. So stream of consciousness is not merely a style, it is a revolution in narrative form. I hope this idea of the stream of consciousness, the techniques that I used, how it is differentiated from interior monologue or realism is clear to you. Thank you.